For millennia, humanity has looked to the night sky, wondering about our place in the boundless universe. A cosmos containing billions of galaxies, each galaxy holding billions of stars, and around them, countless planets. And amidst that overwhelming vastness, our Earth is but a tiny, seemingly insignificant speck. The prevailing scientific theory suggests that life on this planet is the result of a series of entirely random, natural events. From the Big Bang to the formation of our solar system, and finally to a long, drawn-out process of natural evolution over billions of years. However, when we delve into each intricate detail of this picture, another question begins to emerge. Some people believe that the existence of life on Earth is too perfect to be a mere accident. They propose a bold hypothesis that Earth and its life are the product of an intentional architectural process executed by an extraterrestrial intelligence. And the purported evidence for this hypothesis lies within the very factors that have allowed us to exist. The first factor is Earth's precise position in the solar system. Earth sits in a special region called the Goldilocks zone, the perfect distance from the sun where temperatures allow water to exist in its liquid form. If we were a little closer to the sun, water would boil away. A little farther, it would freeze solid. This condition is incredibly rare, yet it is the primary prerequisite for all known life. Next, let's talk about our great cosmic companion, the Moon. The Moon's size is unusually large relative to Earth, much larger than the moons of other rocky planets in our solar system. The Moon's gravitational pull not only creates the tides, but also acts as a giant anchor. It helps to stabilize Earth's axial tilt, keeping our climate relatively mild and stable for millions of years. Without the Moon, Earth would wobble violently, causing extreme and erratic climate changes that would make it difficult for complex life to thrive. The third factor is our atmosphere and magnetic field. An atmosphere with a perfect ratio of oxygen and nitrogen. Paired with a powerful magnetic field generated by our molten iron core. This magnetic field acts as an invisible shield, protecting us from deadly cosmic radiation and destructive solar storms. The combination of these specific conditions has created a perfect habitat, a safe bubble amidst the harshness of the cosmos. So, are all these factors merely the result of an incredibly low probability chain of random events? Or are they the result of a meticulously planned and deliberately orchestrated process? Those who subscribe to this hypothesis suggest that some kind of cosmic gardener found a potential rocky planet. They then intentionally prepared it, creating the perfect conditions for life to take root and flourish. Perhaps the moon was placed into orbit by them to stabilize this planet. Perhaps they seeded the necessary elements into the atmosphere and water to create a functioning ecosystem. And if this audacious hypothesis were true, then the story of our origins would no longer be one of a lucky coincidence. It would be a story about cosmic architects, and we would be the product of that superior intelligence. So, where are the traces of these architects? And what evidence could possibly lend weight to such a bold claim? If a superior intelligence did engineer our world, where would they leave their signature? Proponents of this theory believe the answer lies not in the stars, but in our own history. They point to a time when humanity, by all accounts, was in its infancy. Yet, an impossible level of knowledge seemed to appear out of nowhere. The most compelling evidence is often found in the colossal megalithic structures that litter our planet. Consider the Great Pyramids of Giza. We are told they were built with primitive tools by a civilization obsessed with death and pharaohs. But their architectural precision is astounding. The stones are cut with a level of accuracy that rivals modern technology, weighing several tons each. They are aligned with the cardinal directions and specific constellations with an almost unbelievable precision. How could a society without advanced tools, mathematics, or a clear understanding of astronomy accomplish such a feat? This leads many to speculate that the ancient Egyptians were either guided or directly assisted by a more advanced civilization. The pyramids, in this theory, were not tombs. They were power plants, communication devices, or even landing beacons for their extraterrestrial creators. And it's not just the pyramids. Look at the monolithic stones of Stonehenge, perfectly placed in a formation that tracks celestial movements. Or the massive, mysterious stone heads of Easter Island, whose construction and transportation remain a puzzle to this day. These structures, spanning different continents and eras, all point to a common theme: a sudden, incredible leap in engineering that defies conventional explanation. Beyond the physical monuments, we find powerful clues embedded in the stories our ancestors told themselves. Nearly every ancient civilization, from the Sumerians to the Mayans and the Egyptians, shares a common narrative: that they were visited by gods from the sky. These gods weren't just worshipped, they were teachers. They brought knowledge of agriculture, writing, law, and astronomy, fundamentally elevating human civilization. The Sumerian tablets, for example, speak of the Anunnaki, beings who came from the heavens and created humanity to serve them. To proponents of this theory, these aren't just myths. They are historical accounts passed down through generations of our first contact with our creators. Lastly, the most audacious claim of all: that the evidence for our alien origins lies within us. Mainstream science says we evolved from ape-like ancestors, but the timeline shows an unexplained leap. The human brain, in particular, expanded at an astonishing and rapid rate, a phenomenon that has baffled scientists for years. Proponents of the extraterrestrial hypothesis suggest this was not a natural evolutionary jump, but a form of genetic engineering. They believe that an alien race spliced their own advanced DNA with that of early hominids, creating a new, more intelligent species. Us. This could explain not only our rapid cognitive growth, but also the so-called junk DNA that makes up a significant portion of our genome. To them, these historical, mythological, and even biological clues are not just anomalies. They are breadcrumbs left behind by our creators, waiting for us to piece together the truth. But if this is true, what was their ultimate goal? And why would a hyper-intelligent race go to such lengths to create us? If the historical and biological clues we explored are indeed traces of an alien presence, then two fundamental questions arise. How did they do it? And more importantly, why? Let's first consider the how. The scale of such a project seems impossibly vast, but for a hyper-advanced civilization, it might be a matter of advanced science and engineering. The process would likely be a form of cosmic terraforming on a grand scale. Perhaps they used technology to redirect water-rich asteroids to our young planet, or to strategically bombard it with specific compounds to create our unique atmosphere. With the planet prepared, the next step would be the creation of life itself. This is where the theory of genetic engineering comes into play. Rather than waiting billions of years for a random evolutionary leap, a superior intelligence could have jump-started the process. They might have taken early hominid species and, through advanced genetic manipulation, accelerated our cognitive development. This would explain the rapid and sudden expansion of the human brain, bypassing the slow, incremental steps of natural evolution. But the technology, however advanced, is secondary to the motive. What would drive a civilization to such an endeavor? One of the most popular theories is that Earth is a cosmic laboratory. For these architects, we are a grand experiment. They created us to observe how a sentient species would evolve, build societies, and develop consciousness under specific conditions. Our history, filled with conflict, innovation, and art, is simply data for them. A related and more cynical hypothesis is the cosmic zoo theory. In this scenario, humanity is not an experiment, but an exhibit. Earth is a nature reserve, a pristine habitat where a new species is allowed to evolve naturally, with the architects observing from a distance to ensure no interference occurs. Perhaps the ancient myths of gods descending from the sky were not teachers, but rather cosmic park rangers, stepping in to make sure their preserve wasn't destroyed. A third, and more desperate, motive could be that humanity is a backup plan. Perhaps the architect's own home planet was dying, or their civilization was nearing its end. by creating humanity and seeding their own genetic code into our species, they ensured their legacy would continue long after their own race had gone extinct. In this case, we aren't just their creation, we are a continuation of their very existence. Finally, there's a more hopeful possibility that the motive was altruistic. Perhaps they created us to be a part of a larger galactic community, a new species with a unique perspective and the potential to evolve into something even greater. In this scenario, they are not our creators, but our cosmic parents, patiently waiting for us to reach the maturity to join them. Whether as an experiment, a zoo exhibit, a backup plan, or a new child for the cosmos, each motive has profound implications for how we view ourselves. But while these theories are compelling, they are still just speculation. Mainstream science has very different explanations for the phenomena we've discussed. And it is crucial to examine these counter-arguments to get a complete picture. The theories of cosmic architects are compelling, and they appeal to our sense of wonder. But to truly understand our origins, we must subject these claims to the scrutiny of science. Mainstream science, in fact, has very different explanations for the very same evidence we've explored. Let's start with the great megalithic structures. While their construction is an incredible feat, archaeologists and engineers today have proven it was not impossible for ancient civilizations. Through a combination of ingenious lever systems, ramps, and the sheer power of an organized massive labor force, they were able to move and place these stones. What we see as impossible technology, science views as a testament to human ingenuity, cooperation, and perseverance. The celestial alignments of these structures are not evidence of alien instruction, but rather of early humanity's deep and developing understanding of the cosmos. Our ancestors were keen observers of the sky, using it to track seasons for agriculture and to navigate. Their monuments were essentially sophisticated calendars and observatories. Next, let's address the universal myths of sky gods. Anthropologists explain that these stories are a natural and predictable way for early humans to personify the forces of nature they did not yet understand. The sun, the moon, the weather, and the mystery of creation itself were given faces and personalities, the powerful gods descending from the heavens. These were not historical records, but metaphorical frameworks for making sense of a chaotic world. They are a reflection of the human need to find a creator, a higher power, to explain our existence. Now, for the most audacious claim of all, the idea of genetic engineering. The scientific community largely dismisses the notion of a sudden leap in human evolution. Evolution is not a smooth, linear process. It is a slow and steady accumulation of changes, punctuated by periods of rapid adaptation, driven by environmental changes, which is precisely what happened with our ancestors. Furthermore, the claim of junk DNA being an alien signature has been largely disproven. Modern genomic research has revealed that much of what was once considered junk actually has crucial regulatory functions, controlling which genes are turned on and off. The parts we still don't understand are not evidence of alien tinkering, but rather a frontier of science waiting to be explored. So, while the extraterrestrial hypothesis offers a tantalizing narrative, mainstream science provides a compelling, evidence-based story of human genius, natural evolution, and our unique ability to observe and understand the world around us. Yet, the question of our origins continues to resonate. Whether we were created by a cosmic hand or are the product of natural forces, what does it truly say about our place in the universe? And what will we do with that knowledge? Our journey has taken us from a perfect-looking planet to the bold claims of cosmic architects, and finally, to the grounded explanations of science. Now, we are left with a single, profound question. What does our origin story, whether scientific or speculative, truly say about who we are? Let's first consider the implications if the extraterrestrial hypothesis were true. To discover that we are a creation, a cosmic experiment, would fundamentally change our understanding of ourselves. Would we lose our sense of identity and purpose, knowing that our evolution was preordained? Or would we feel a new sense of belonging as part of a grander galactic family? It would also redefine our relationship with our creators. Would they be benevolent parents, distant observers, or something more sinister? The knowledge that we were made, not born of chance, would shift our focus from conquering our world to perhaps finding our place in theirs. But what if the opposite is true? What if the scientific narrative is the correct one? To be a product of natural, random processes makes our existence all the more miraculous. We are the result of an unimaginably long series of events, a lucky draw in the cosmic lottery. In this view, we are not a created species with a predetermined purpose. We are the universe's way of experiencing itself. This places the full responsibility for our future squarely on our shoulders. We are not awaiting our Creator's return. We are the authors of our own destiny. Our struggles, our triumphs, our innovations are not part of an experiment. They are the products of our own grit, intelligence, and spirit. Regardless of which story resonates with you, both lead to the same powerful conclusion about our present. The fact remains that we exist. We are here on this beautiful, rare, and delicate planet. Our origins may be a mystery, but our future is a choice. Will we choose to protect this unique planet we call home? Will we continue to push the boundaries of science and discovery? The search for our origins is a reflection of our most fundamental human drive to understand ourselves and our place in the cosmos. Whether that search leads us to the stars, to our past, or to the very code within our DNA, the journey is what truly defines us. So, who are we in this universe? Perhaps we are the lucky children of cosmic chance. Or perhaps we are a new creation, destined to one day become the architects ourselves. The answer remains a mystery, but the questions will continue to drive us forward, forever.